Are you struggling with unit testing in Angular 2 and facing that frustrating error message? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into a common issue that many developers encounter when working with Angular and Jasmine. I totally get how annoying it can be when your tests just won't run as expected. It feels like you're stuck in a loop, and trust me, I've been there too. This is a common hurdle for many Angular developers. Let's take a closer look at the specific issue at hand. One user recently asked, "Why am I getting the error failed to load eng/DynamicTestModule module.ngfactory.js when running my unit tests?" They mentioned that their tests hang after the fixture.detect changes call. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So what could be causing this error? It often relates to how Angular compiles components and modules during testing. If you're not using ahead-of-time compilation, it can lead to issues like the one we're discussing. Let's break it down step by step. And stick around. I have a crucial tip at the end that can help you avoid this error in the future. To address the issue with the Angular unit tests, the user should first ensure that the Angular testing environment is correctly set up. This includes verifying that all necessary dependencies are installed and properly configured. Next, the user should check the configuration of the testbed in their test file. It's important to ensure that all components and services are declared and provided correctly. Now, the user should focus on the asynchronous nature of Angular tests. If the user is using async, they need to ensure that the fixture is properly initialized before calling detect changes. If the user continues to encounter the error related to loading the DynamicTestModule, they should check their Angular version and ensure that the Angular compiler is correctly set up for testing. Finally, if the problem persists, the user may want to clear the cache and rebuild the project. This can often resolve issues related to module loading. Fun fact: did you know that Angular's ahead-of-time compilation can significantly improve your app's performance? It's like giving your app a turbo boost. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution comes from a user who faced a similar issue. They discovered that the problem stemmed from malformed mock data in their service. Specifically, when they mocked the service function, they forgot to include the correct attribute in the return data. This oversight led to the XML per request failure. To resolve this, they ensured that their mocked HTTP requests returned the appropriate attributes, which fixed the issue. Now, let's see a response from a different user. One user shared an alternative solution to the error message regarding loading the DynamicTestModule. They found that the error was misleading and not related to XML HTTP request as initially thought. Instead, it stemmed from not properly mocking a class, specifically ngrx store. They added 2 observable methods to their mock class that were previously missing, and once they included those, the error disappeared, allowing Karma to execute successfully. Now, let's see a response from a different user. An alternative solution shared by another user addresses the same error. They discovered that the issue was related to the HTML file. Specifically, they found that using a simple array length check with if was causing the problem. They refactored the code to use a getter instead, which checks if the array is not empty. The user expressed frustration that such a variety of issues could lead to one misleading error message, highlighting the need for clearer diagnostics. That's the end of that answer. Let's see another perspective. An alternative solution provided by another user highlights that the issue may stem from missing public variables in the mock service. These variables are accessed by the component during its ng-oninit method. That wraps up that answer. Let's move on to another one. An alternative solution comes from another user who faced a similar issue. They discovered that a simple null reference error in their component's ngIf checks was causing the problem. They suggest first running ngserve to ensure the component works in the browser without errors. Here's the tip I promised. Always double-check your testbed configuration and consider using ahead-of-time compilation for smoother testing experiences. And there you have it. With these tips, you should be able to tackle that pesky error and get your unit tests running smoothly. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more Angular tips and tricks.